Hi guys, good morning. Today our video is going to be a little bit longer than normal because we're going to do 2 biomes today. So I'm going to move through them kind of quickly so that you don't have to sit through this massive video. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know this is going to be a little bit long because I want us to finish biomes before Christmas time so that we don't get confused. So we're going to move through them a little bit quickly because I can tell that you guys already know a lot about them. So first we're going to talk about grasslands today. Grasslands are a semi-dry area with very few or no trees. The soil is too thin and dry for trees to survive here. So obviously because of this picture here, we know that there are a few trees, but not many. There are 3 categories or 3 different types of grasslands: prairies, steppes, and savannas. So I've given you a picture of each different kind so that you can understand kind of what they look like and how they're different. So their location. Usually we find them in between deserts and forests and on the interior, or the inside, parts of continents. They can be found on every continent except for Antarctica. 1/4 of the Earth is grassland. So here we have a picture of a grassland, and if you look at the map, all of those yellow areas are places that we find grasslands. There should also be a few grasslands in North America, like right around in here, and there should also be a few in Asia around here. The map hasn't completely loaded for some reason, so I thought I would tell you where there should be a few more yellow. So the weather. Winter temperatures are around 4 degrees Celsius, and summer temperatures are around 21 degrees Celsius. So in the winter it's pretty cold, and in the summer it's kind of hot. The northern hemisphere has grasslands that are dry. The southern hemisphere has grasslands that get more rain, sun, and wind. So those are a few of the animals that we see. So things like sheep, cows, and horses live in a lot of them. So in this slide we're going to talk about animals. There are a lot of pictures of animals here. So animals are mostly grazing or roaming animals. So that means that they are animals that eat grass, like sheep or cows, and animals that kind of move from one place to another. There's not many places to hide from predators, but a lot of grass for food. Most of the animals who live here are herbivores. Herbivores are animals that eat only plants. So I included a few of these pictures to show you animals that blend in really well. Like this prairie dog, if you saw him from far away, and this picture is easy to see because it's kind of zoomed in, but if you saw him from far away, he'd be hard to see. And this lion, if you're not looking closely, you miss her. Alright, so these are not all of the animals that live in grasslands, but there are a few good examples. Plants. So the plants are mostly grasses and wildflowers. There are few to no trees, and the plants can survive drought and come back after fires. So these are a few examples of plants we might see. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about is the deciduous forest. So I've told you before, and I know that a few of you know this, I used to live in a place that's a deciduous forest. So all of the pictures you're going to see on the next few slides are pictures that I took of where I used to live before I moved to Mexico. I thought that you guys might enjoy seeing that, and it might be kind of cool for you to see pictures that I had taken since I've lived in one of these. So the deciduous forest can sometimes be called a temperate forest biome. Usually they're close to taigas, and deciduous means to fall off. So it's talking about when the tree leaves fall off the trees during autumn or fall. They have the second largest amount of yearly rainfall, so they're pretty wet. Location. They're usually found in the eastern half of North America, and they're found in the middle part of Europe. So the weather, the average yearly rainfall is 75 to 150 centimeters of rain. So that's for the whole year. Summers are usually mild, and the average temperature is about 21 degrees Celsius. Winter is very cold, and it's usually below freezing. So these three pictures I picked because you can kind of see the different weather. This one is during fall or autumn, and you can see the leaves changing, but it was hot when I took this picture. And in this one, you can mostly see the front of my car, but in this one you can see that it's been snowing and there's snow on the mountains and there are no leaves on the trees. And this picture on the end I took during November, so during this month of the year. You can see that some of the leaves, or some of the trees, still have their bright orange fall leaves, and there's still grass, but it's snowing in half of the picture. Next, we're going to talk about animals. So animals that live here adapt to the changing seasons. So there are a couple of ways they do that. Hibernation, so some animals, like bears, sleep through the winter months. They eat a whole bunch of stuff and then they sleep for the whole winter time. And then the next thing is migration. So migration means that they're going somewhere else for the winter. Usually they go somewhere warmer. Then another thing that they do is they grow thicker coats during the winter. So you can kind of see that if you look at this brown bear and this deer. They both have thicker coats, especially the deer. He's really fluffy looking because it looks like it's wintertime in this picture. And then they also change colors. So we've talked about before, and I know that a lot of you like these, foxes and rabbits that are orange or brown during the fall and summer, and then they turn white during the wintertime. They turn white so that they can kind of blend in and fit in with their surroundings when it's snowing. And then our last slide is plants. There are many species of trees like oak, elm, maple, and cedar. Those are just different kinds of trees. And then the trees lose their leaves in the wintertime. Shrubs, mosses, and plants don't need direct sunlight, but they just grow. So most of these pictures are during the fall. Most of them were taken during October or November. And it kind of shows you a lot of the different kinds of trees I was talking about. And it shows you how the trees lose their leaves in the winter. Alright, so I'm going to post 2 things for you to read today. It's going to be just like last time. A lot of you guys told me you enjoyed those. And it really helped me see what you understood and what you were confused about. So I'm going to give you 2 of them, but you're not going to have to give me 3 points for both of them. Okay? You're just going to have to give me 2 for each. So 2 things you learned from each of the reading assignments is your homework tonight. I'll still post that so that you can see it, but just as a reminder. Alright, I will talk to you guys later and have a great week.